Hey, Marc Millan here. Thank you for letting me be a part of your day to share some ideas on leadership. I hope that today's conversation can help you grow in your influence and in your impact, and that you can apply some of these things in the teams or the ministries or the areas that God has you leading, and that they help you serve with excellence. Today's topic is leading up. No matter where you find yourself, I have always discovered that you're always trying to lead people. They could be people who report to you. You can call them subordinates. Maybe they're volunteers, but you're leading a group of people. And then you're always reporting to someone else, someone who has either greater responsibility, a different line of authority, different place in the org chart. But one way or another, there's always a position where you've got to help the person that you're reporting to understand certain challenges that you have, certain goals that you have, certain things that you're trying to fix or resolve. So leading up is an important part of leadership. It's a key component to the health of the mission and the organization, and really the longevity of your role. And this is something that I have had to learn how to do with grace and just error and failure. So I'm hoping that today some of those things can help you get ahead of where I used to be, and hopefully together we can continue to grow in this area of leading up. So let's jump in. I'm going to give you 3 things and give you some thoughts on it, and then maybe close with just some instinctive conversational thoughts that maybe can help you kind of put it all together. So 3 things. Number 1, aim to contribute. Aim to contribute. Many times what I have found is when I have experience, when I've tested and tried some things, maybe even when I've failed at certain things, when I have insight, in other words, I have looked into something for a long time, I've read books, I've analyzed, I've been coached and mentored. When I have insight and clarity to a specific thing, for me it becomes exponentially clear on what I should be doing, or what we should be doing as a team or as an organization. However, I don't have complete authority sometimes to do those things, and you probably won't have complete authority to do those things either. So how do we take some of these experiences, these ideas, these suggestions, these insights, and influence the people that we work for or work with to help understand it? I would say it boils down to the attitude on which you present those ideas. So aim to contribute basically means make your goal a suggestive act. Make your goal an act to contribute and put things on the table that don't necessarily are right or wrong. They're just, hey, I would like to add some value to this. I would like to contribute some suggestions that I think can help us. And you aim to contribute, and then you let them choose from those ideas what may be the best option. Options are great. Giving your leader tons of options is great. Thinking through the potential questions they may have is also really, really great. So make your first aim the aim to contribute, not so much to drop a truth bomb or to say a truth statement or to make something kind of take the air out of the room, but rather just, hey, I have some thoughts I think may help. Can I share these? Or when can I share these with you? Aiming to contribute is a great way to practice servant leadership. It's a great way to add value to those that you're trying to lead, and it builds trust with your leader. So aim to contribute. Number 2, educate and inform. Number 2, educate and inform. What I've learned, not only in my leadership with those that I am leading, is that many times I don't understand all the details. And it's good for a healthy leader, a strong leader should not be involved in all the details, which means that they're going to be veiled from certain things and certain levels of information that help them to understand what the best decision is. So one of the things that I strongly recommend is that you educate and inform in an appropriate way. That might be to create a spreadsheet. It might be to create a data report. It may be to just have a one-on-one conversation with the goal of educating and informing. In other words, they may be asking you to do something, but they don't understand the complexity or the amount of details, the manpower, the work, the resources you may need. You might need equipment, you might need more volunteers, and they may not understand that. They just see the goal, they see the target, and then they give you the instruction to do it. So educating and informing is one of the best ways to do that. You might ask, how do I do that? Well, I would always say, always answer with an affirmation for what's being asked. So a lot of times, if I'm given a directive, I will say, I got it, I understand. In order to do that, there's a number of things that I have to look into. Can I research that and get back to you? Or can I get a moment with you so that I can go over some things that will impact the timeline of what you're asking me to do? Educate and inform. Believe it or not, as you educate and inform, it not only helps your leader grow, but it also helps them understand it if they come back another time and ask you for it again. Here's the temptation. The temptation is we want to just go into action and we want to just prove that we can deliver. But without helping educate and inform appropriately, we can put upon ourselves an insurmountable task or a repeated task that we are not able to maintain or keep up with. So I'll give you an example. Maybe you work in graphics operations or something that requires hours to accomplish. And so they ask you to pull something off and you go in your mind and you just calculate and you go, okay, that's gonna take 2 days work, and I don't have anyone to do it, so let me do it. And then you jump in and you do it. Well, what if they come back and you go, hey, great job, I want you to do that from now on. Now you've got a problem in your hands and they have no idea how it's impacting your workload. So educating and informing could be, hey, I can definitely get that done. I have these other 2 things I need to also get done. Which one would you prefer that I delay or give up so that I could get this done? That's kind of a process of educate and inform. It gives them the power. Again, you're trying to give your leader the power to choose what's best for the mission as you're serving them and as you're serving the mission. So educate and inform, super, super helpful. It's also a great way to help maintain boundaries for yourself, which can be very, very hard sometimes in a high work environment. Okay, and then number 3, present the idea, its benefits, and its cautions. So when I say present the idea, its benefits, and its cautions, it's important not just to make a request. When you're leading up, it's important not just to make a request. Most leaders, as I said a few moments ago, they're veiled from all of the details involved with a specific task. So if you're presenting ideas, let's say you're in production and you wanna build an LED wall. Let's say you're on the worship team and you wanna hire some musicians. Let's say you work in hospitality and you wanna buy some new t-shirts. These are just scenarios, but you have an idea, you wanna present an idea, but it's so important for you to be able to present those ideas with the benefits and the cautions. So you have to learn how to frame it, whether in email or in person, to say, hey, I want to be able to do this. If we do this, here's what we gain by doing it. Or you might say, here's what we miss out on if we don't do this now. If you want, we can do it later, but I suggest that we do it now. If we don't get a chance to do it now, we will miss this opportunity. You are just presenting the idea, you're presenting the benefits and the cautions, and then you're giving the power over to your leader. This is so important, and this was a struggle for me because I felt that in order to be a strong leader, I had to maintain power, and that was my ego, really. But I had to maintain power. So learn how to use information as a way to empower your leader so that in turn they can empower you to do what God's called you to do. So the third one is just present the idea, its benefits, and its cautions. So aim to contribute, educate and inform, present the idea, its benefits, and its cautions. And then here's one final thought as we close. I would always say, and I learned this from Craig Rochelle, who has a great podcast on leadership, both on YouTube and if you follow podcasts and subscribe to them. Honor in public, discuss in private. Honor in public, discuss in private. Now, there's an old saying, I grew up in New York, and there's an old saying, keeping it real. Keep it real. I want to just caution you with that. The goal in our leadership roles and the goal in our workplace is not to keep it real. Maybe the goal in our relationships is to keep it real. Maybe the goal in how we express ourselves in a social setting might be to keep it real. But when we are part of an organization and we're part of a team, the goal is not so much to keep it real. The goal is to advance the mission and to win on the team. And so don't let, this has been my mistake, don't let your ego get in the way of winning with the team. And so when I say honor in public, discuss in private, your goal there is to win with the team and win with the mission. And one of the ways you do it is by honoring your leader in public. They may say something, it might be a male or female, they may say something, and you might not agree with it. I would say honor in public. Honor and support in public, and then when you get the chance, ask for the opportunity to gain understanding in private and have that discussion in private. Anytime you choose to argue or fight or push back in a public setting, it's always going to give the appearance that you are not trying to lead up, but that you are trying to fight against their leadership, and that never turns out good. So those are my 3 tips on leading up. I hope it helps you succeed and serve and achieve excellence wherever God has you. That's all I have for you today, from my heart to yours.